right, welcome back to our channel, guys. Today we are going to talk about our relationship, or just general relationship questions. We asked you guys on Instagram, and you guys actually submitted so many questions.
A lot of questions.
I don't think we're going to be able to answer all of them in this one video because there's so many. So please, I'm sorry if we don't get to your question.
Also, this is going up on this channel, Black Cross Roberto channel, because we feel like we're just going to merge the two worlds together. I think it's easier to do it that way, and instead of building a brand new channel. And I feel like, you know, this is the evolution of this channel. So here you go. We have a new face, and I hope you enjoy it, because I think the last video I posted, it did pretty well on here. So that signaled that you guys wanted to see more. So here you guys have it.
I'm here. Okay. So do you want to kind of look through them first?
No, I don't know. Just go through them. I honestly haven't looked at the questions, guys.
He hasn't.
I'm excited to answer them and see what you guys are interested in knowing about our relationship. So, it's my girlfriend, by the way.
Hi.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh.
I'm also the mother of this
bangs.
child. Oh yeah, I got bangs, guys.
Baby
I don't know if
bangs.
they came out how I wanted, but it's not my hairstylist's fault. I think it's my fault for not
The
communicating well
hairstylist
enough.
is legit. Dude.
He's
Shouts
really
out to
good.
him.
We love him. But I don't know. Anyway,
Let's go ahead, guys.
let's go. Okay, so we've answered this question before, but I don't know if we should just start it off because it seems like people constantly ask us this about how we met. Should we answer it, or should we just direct them to our last video?
No, let's just do it, because you guys, we imposed this on you guys, but let's see. Yeah, you go ahead, you answer it. I've answered it last time.
So, you guys, we met in the most, I guess, new wave way? We met on a dating
The most
app.
modern way of dating.
Well, yeah, the most modern way. And I think the reason that it worked for us is because we weren't actually, like, desperate to find somebody or anything like that. That's kind of not why we were on the app. I think we all know why Carlos was on the app, you know, as a man. I don't think he was taking it too seriously. As far as me, I think I literally did it as like a kind of a joke with my friend as well. Like, I wasn't really taking it seriously. It was something for fun. I had gone out with a friend and she was using it, and I was like, oh, that just looks like fun.
Yeah.
And so I did that, but literally with no expectation, no intention to meet somebody. Actually, at the time, I don't think either one of us wanted a relationship. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for you.
No,
I didn't.
And I was on the app for fun. I remember particularly being on that mostly because I loved fucking with Jordan. And I would get some matches, and then I would match everyone who matched with me just for fun, you know? And I think I just found humor in that.
So anyway, so we ended up matching with each other. It was Bumble that we were using, so I had to reach out first.
That's
And
true.
I literally just said hi. Like, it was nothing entertaining or fun or anything, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think I just said hi,
exactly.
and like, you know, and then Carlos started the conversation, and I think we just kind of almost immediately clicked.
And then success.
And it just happened. And I think that's the best way. It's like when you aren't really looking for that in particular, and
They'll
you feel
find you.
like if you feel really good and solid about being single,
Yeah,
and you feel really good about yourself, like genuinely, and you're not trying to fake it, like you genuinely feel good, like that's when you're gonna find the right person for you.
Yeah, you'll attract what you need.
Oh, cool. So I just totally went out.
Attract
with
what
this.
you need, guys, please.
Yeah. I saw something that said that you attract who you are, which I thought is really interesting, because if you think back in previous times of your life and the type of partner that you were with, and their good sides or their bad sides. No, but for real though, if you really start to think about it, I think there's truth to that, like, for sure. So you have to be a whole, good, healthy person, and you'll find that too. Let me go back to the questions.
Person, guys.
All right, let's see. Why am I going to post?
Tim did a good job on his haircut, guys. I love it. And
He's so
her too.
legit. If you're in Puerto Vallarta, like, you really need to go to him. He's the best.
Yeah, I'll link it down below. And you'll pay I wouldn't even tell you how much you'll pay.
It's a good price, but because it's
really pretty reasonable.
If you're comparing it to U.S. pricing.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys take a flight and do it. Trust me.
Okay. Okay. So this question would love to know about the dynamic in your relationship with your cultural upbringing differences. So, if you guys don't know, I'm Iranian American, and Carlos.
Salvadorian American.
Actually, I think, well, our cultures obviously definitely have differences, but we both grew up in the States, first off. So,
Unfortunately.
no, I think obviously for us it was good, but so we both grew up in the States, and I think there's a lot of similarities in our culture in terms of like the importance of family and that sort of thing. I would say probably if you're really getting into like the nitty gritty of our cultures, like maybe religious differences a little bit, but even if you go to the core of those like teachings, they're pretty similar, I think. So I actually think for Carlos and I, that's something that in a way we connected on, is that our values align a lot, right?
We have the same core mission.
Yeah, but again, we both grew up in the States too, so who knows if we had grown up in like our home country.
Yeah, it'd be different, dude. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. So I think that has a lot to do with it, I mean, also we grew up in a similar area where, not in the same city or anything.
It was the same but different, yeah.
Same but different, kind of same but different experiences. And although Carlos is 100% Salvadorian, like his parents are both from El Salvador, like
MS baby.
He's also like American, you know what I mean? So like I think even if you're not a mixed person, there's still some like identity differences, when you grow up in a place that's different from like your home culture.
Of course, yeah. So what does she want to know, or do they want to know? What's the differences?
What's our dynamic like because of the differences of our culture?
Oh, I think we mesh really well. Like, yeah, the core values like the family and those type of characteristics, I think, align. So yeah.
Yeah, like I don't.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. I would say maybe the only difference is like maybe language barrier sometimes. Mm-hmm. Not with us talking to each other, but maybe with our families.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's not. Yeah, it's fine. It's a really.
There's not. I don't even think it really comes into play a lot in our relationship, other than the values in which we align with.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had anything that clashed with.
No, and our families are both like traditional, so it's like it's at the same time it's like very like open and freeing. I don't know.
Exactly. Like both of our families are very open and accepting of each other's, and so I don't even know if it really comes into play a lot with our relationship, maybe in ways we don't understand fully. I think the only difference, it's maybe not even cultural, but just like upbringing, maybe it's a little bit cultural, like the way I was raised versus you. There's a lot of similarities, but maybe some of the differences, like we responded differently, and so there's just differences in our personality and how we like approach the world or see the world. But I don't know how much that's cultural or just like the fact that we had different parents, you know? Cool. Anything else you want to add? I know, they're really good. I like this one too. Okay. Were you both open for communication in the beginning of your relationship?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I was. You were too. I think that's why we got along so well. I think we were both at a point in our lives where we knew what we wanted, we knew what we were going to accept and decline, and I think that that was one of the main things in any relationship. I think that uncommunicative expectations is the reason for failed marriages and relationships. So, yeah,
100%. I think it's something that actually impressed me about Carlos in the beginning, is his ability to communicate, which I know was hard for you even in the beginning. But like, I think he really made.
I just didn't want any BS. I didn't want to go into a relationship like setting a precedence of like,
like
I
playing
don't know how to
games
communicate, or like,
yeah.
I don't want to share my emotions, because at the end of the day, that's the thing that ends a relationship or resentment. So I was like, I just might as well just go in with a bang. It's
Yeah, I think even in the beginning, like we weren't officially in a relationship yet, but something had come up and Carlos asked and I answered and I was honest, and Carlos I think appreciated my honesty, but also it opened up like something for him to communicate to me. And then at that point I think we both decided that we wanted to be in a relationship. Yeah, like I think we both decided that we what we actually wanted. So I think we were both open in the beginning, and I think that just goes back to like what I said in the beginning, and be in a good place, and your I guess maybe not your best self ever, because you're going to constantly evolve, but like be in a healthy place, like mentally, emotionally, and you're going to find somebody who's there to meet you there.
And don't be afraid to express yourself.
Yeah, and if someone's not in the beginning, trust that they're not going to be, and move on. You know, like you're not here to fix people.
It's tough.
Okay. When was our relationship challenged the most, and what persevered? I'm curious to know actually what you think.
Challenges. I mean, I think after any big life changes, I think it challenges. Like when we first got a dog, that was a challenging situation. Then when we had a kid, that was a challenging situation. It still is, because he's growing, so he's a different kid every single day. Yeah. So it's like there's always different challenges. But yeah, I think any time that there's growth, there's going to be difficulties. Yeah. And that's where the communication comes from. So it's not one time. I don't think it should be a one-time thing. I remember this one argument we had. We grew so much from that one argument. I think it's, or challenge. It's always like, it has to be kind of constant if you are in a evolving relationship.
Right. And I think, like life does happen, right? Like things happen that you never have gone through together as a couple yet. Yeah, I would say for us, probably the biggest, we went through something together like earlier on in our relationship that was pretty monumental, but not in a negative way. So like, I think we grew a lot then as far as trusting each other. But I would say, getting a dog together really was a big one. Like the first like really big thing where there was moments where we really disagreed about things, like I am a little bit more of an anxious person, and so like I approached things a little bit differently than Carlos does. Carlos is way more like kind of go with the flow, very chill,
but still handle situations.
No, he does.
But just go,
he does,
but
like for me, there were certain things that came up that I didn't react the best way, and there were certain things that came up for me where I felt Carlos didn't react in the best way. And I think we had to just come to an understanding with each other about why those things came up, what it means to the other person, how it made the other person feel, and then come to some kind of resolution about how we can move forward with that. And I think in us being able to do that, it also helped us to know that we can be parents together. Yeah. Because that was hard, and we were able to talk about it and then figure out how to work through it. And I already loved Carlos like more than anything, and so like I already thought he was going to be the father of my child. Like,
damn, plot the whole time.
I was like, well, I met him and I was like, ooh, inseminate me, please. No, but no, it's like when you go through those things, you really can see like someone's character by how they choose to handle that situation, of how they choose to handle a disagreement. And for me, the fact that we didn't walk away from each other, we didn't allow that to allow separation, even if there's moments that are uncomfortable, like we work through it together, because there's definitely, in any relationship, if it's a healthy relationship, I think you're gonna have moments like that.
It's always healthy to even think about relieving the other person. I said this last time too. I was like, bro, like there's no pressure. Like the more pressure you feel like you have to be with someone, the more difficult challenges are gonna get. Like for me, it's like if we fucking split up, we split up, dude. There's nothing that It's
Yeah.
no, not in a, like I'm gonna
He's
go.
gonna leave me.
No, but I'm just saying like the more it's like almost when you think about life in money terms, where you're like, am I going to be financially secure 15 years from now? And then you're thinking about that, and it's just and you're like, right now I don't have $20 million, but hopefully by that time, it's just like you're building pressure in the present that is unnecessary.
That doesn't exist yet.
That doesn't exist. So that's why it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't know. I feel like there's a freeing part of that. Like, and it might sound fucked up, but it is. Life is fucked up.
I
But
think
it's also
I
like if
think
you
in a
look at
way-
yourself as that. It's almost like when people say if you're like think about death all the time, you're more happy because you're like you appreciate what you have. Like
Yeah.
what Steven? No, what was not Steven Seagal?
Oh my
God. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal probably did say that. Steve Jobs, same shit, right? Steven Seagal. Steve Jobs is like what? Death is like the only thing that is like. Certain whatever, so he had that perspective where he was like, if you were to die today, what would you be happy for, whatever. So I feel like it's just like, yeah, that pressure that some people put on themselves of like, I have to be with this person forever. It's like, you know, maybe think about if you didn't have them in your life, what would that look like? And then you'll be like, actually, this is worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, like I guess what you're saying is like live in the present moment and not in the future.
Yeah,
in a way.
Steven Seagal said that too.
No, but like, no, I guess I agree with that too. The first time he told me that, I was like, damn bitch, I have never thought about leaving you. But if that's what helps Carlos,
It's not, no, but it's not like, no.
if that's what helps you to
It's not
decide, no, you know what
It's
it
like
is?
letting go of just like, it's
The
like
pressure.
letting go of the pressure of like, what if I don't get this job? What if I don't get, it's like, at the end of the day, things are going to be okay. And I think that helps like whatever problem you're going through is like, it's not that big of a problem to that extent. Like if you go there, you know, like.
Yeah. Do you know what helps me? I feel like it's the same thing, but in a different, the way I frame it is a little different, is like, what helps me is to think that nothing is going to stay the same,
Yeah.
ever. So if we're going through a hard time right now, as long as we're both showing up for each other in the
That'd be
relationship,
fine.
it's not going to feel like this tomorrow or in a week from now. Like whatever bad feeling I have right now for whatever happened, like it's not going to always feel that way. And the best times that you're having, it's not always going to feel that way either.
Yeah.
So like, you know, another thing that happened was us having a baby. That changed a lot of things in our relationship, obviously.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
like it had to. It wasn't just about us anymore. And so, you know, knowing that this particular phase of our relationship is a season of our life. It's not forever, you know, like, and not that we're not going to always have a child, but our child's going to grow up, you know, and not need us so much.
Yeah, if you're just hanging out on the couch with your significant other, never having a problem, there's probably a problem. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, I agree. Okay. How do you enjoy the beauty of everything you do and balance the work of content creation?
since I've been doing it a little bit longer, I don't take it as serious anymore.
Yeah.
I think I learned that a while ago, and I think that it's just like any other thing, any other pressure of life. We're all getting something. We're all trying to go for the same thing. You know, we're all on the same road and trying to get to
The same place.
the same place. It's just, we're just doing it differently. But yeah, so the pressures are the same thing. But I think for me, it's just like trying to create a balance, trying to create a boundary for work life, especially being in like social media, content creator, influencer space. It could be hard to like stop, and then you look back and you're like, damn, I didn't enjoy anything I was doing. And I think that's when you start to feel bad about yourself, resenting yourself, and it doesn't have to be that way, because you could ultimately create the life that you want by stopping and being present. And yeah, even if it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of just absorbing something that's not a material thing, like, or just having a cigar outside chilling for 30 minutes, is good. That's called quality life, a quality life and a lifestyle. So I think for me, it's just kind of like stopping and enjoying moments. Like yesterday was a good example. Like the dog had diarrhea, took a dump all over the baby stroller, and Amanda was like, we have to go home. And I was like, dude, okay. And then I went to go wash the car, the thing in the ocean. After I cleaned it very well, it wasn't poop on a thing. So I had poopy hands. And surprisingly, it wasn't my child who did it. And I went to the ocean and both of my shoes got soaked in the water. And I was like, at this point, I can't go home because I'm going to go home and start complaining about what just happened. So I was like, you know what, let's just go to a nice restaurant with wet shoes, smelly hands, and get some wine. And get some wine. And that's what we did, man. We just did it. And it's those moments where you just have to be like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let life take its course and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think he answered that really well, so I don't think I have anything to add.
Shut up. Next question.
What were some of the first things you looked for in one another to
Well, how do you
figure out?
handle? You have to handle because because I've been doing this for a long time and I've finally gotten to the place where you've been starting about it. You haven't gotten.
I'm not in that place yet, 100%. Like
So maybe you guys starting.
I think it, for me.
Wait, context. And she just quit her job too. So like.
Yeah. So I was working just for like. Context. I was working a corporate job for the last 10 years, like, doing the whole, like, working your way up, blah, blah, blah. I was in, like, a relatively high position and then, making relatively good money. Probably most people would consider it very good money. But I was deeply unsatisfied and deeply unhappy with what I was doing for a variety of reasons. And I knew I wanted to make a change, and Carlos came into my life, and he's a creative, and I have always been a creative as well, and felt like that I wasn't doing that in the work that I was doing, but it was something that was always part of my life. And Carlos and I decided to partner up and
make a plan,
and we did, and we helped build his business up together. And somehow I got involved with me being in front of the camera. I never wanted that per se, just because I feel like, I've always been shyer when it comes to that type of thing, or nervous about it. But I think Carlos just helped me to feel more comfortable, and I think it works for his brand. And also, we're trying to figure out my side of it, separate on Twice the Mood.
Yeah, it's doing well.
And it's done really well for the amount of time that we've been doing that. I'm really grateful.
She's almost at 100K in like under a year, put it that way.
Yeah.
Really good.
So, yeah. But with that being said, I'm learning, some of the stuff that Carlos is used to. It's not unlike having a corporate job, honestly. It's just that, even with a corporate job, you saw how I reacted to certain things.
It's like someone taking away something you've created,
and that you worked
more.
So
like a big
hard
corporate job.
for.
If you get fired, it's like, okay, I have to
I could go get
into
another
the workforce. But it's not like you haven't created the foundation and
right.
all that.
So anyway, so for me, I feel like it has been a little bit of an emotional roller coaster so far, because I'm learning, and I'm learning about that. And I'm learning about how to let go of certain things that are just not within my control. But overall, it's 1,000 million times better than what I was doing. So highly recommend. Thank you. Okay, next question. What were some of the first things you looked for in one another to figure out if you were a good match?
For me, the biggest thing was communication and honesty, and she hit both. She hit both targets for sure when we first met. And I like any type of and also making sure that I listen to my gut. And I did for situations, and I did communicate. She communicated back. I was honest. She was honest back, and she removed the bad feeling that I had because I thought she was honest. So for me, it was those two traits for sure. And she's extremely beautiful as well. So she hit that too. And yeah, I think that was mainly it. To me, it was just even besides the looks, it was more of just let's see how well we could communicate and how trustworthy this person is.
Okay, so for me, this is something that for me really stuck out, was how I felt around Carlos immediately. You know, maybe not everyone can relate to that, but I've always been the type of person where I've very much lived behind a wall. Like, I don't really 100% be myself around almost anybody besides like maybe my family, a couple of friends. I'm just kind of a guarded person, but I almost immediately felt super comfortable with Carlos to be my true self, like my humor, everything. Carlos's sense of humor, like almost immediately I was like, okay, like I can fuck with this guy for sure. Like his sense of humor aligns with mine so much. I feel like we really get each other. Like we're not offended by each other, and we can trust me. Someone from the outside looking in on our relationship might be like, whoa, like the things they talk about, the things they say to each other, but like we get it with each other and we're not offended with each other. And if that ever does happen, it's usually coming from a place of insecurity. But no, it was like the way I felt like so myself so soon was like a really big, weird feeling that I had. Like I just like, probably never felt that way with a man, really. Like, I don't know. So I felt really comfortable, and also like, obviously I was attracted to him. And then, you know, his values, like the things that we would talk about. I was like, wow, like, I don't know. I think the biggest thing for me was how I felt. Because like
that should be a really important thing.
Yeah, like pay attention, because I feel like your body even tells you like when somebody's right for you or not. I just think that we get so stuck into like, oh, do they check boxes or not? Because I was seeing somebody also before him where checked all the boxes, but I felt nothing for that person. And so like, and I think you just kind of sometimes, especially, I don't know if it's like that for guys, but maybe like if there's a really hot girl, you might be telling yourself, she's so fucking hot, why don't I want to hang out with her more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like it could be like that also. Like I think sometimes we try to convince ourselves that we should be in a relationship because the person is a good person or a great person, but like you don't feel that with them for whatever reason. But anyway, I felt that way about him. I just felt immediately comfortable. I could be myself. We had fun together. Like I wanted to hang out with him, and I could also be vulnerable, which I never was before with anybody, really. Okay.
Good answer.
I love you. How is y'all's lifestyle with kids and being content creators? What else do you do?
It's fun. It's good question, guys. I think that for me, I try to really merge my worlds together, and it's been pretty fun. Hasn't been easy. It's been easy ever since that she quit her job and I was able to work more, because before I was taking care of the baby, all throughout the entire day. So. It was a little more challenging then, but it was also fun because I got to experience that, and you know that's something I would never could get back or buy. So that was a really good experience. It was fun, and now I think that since she's not working corporate anymore, it's just been kind of like. Yeah, I don't know. Like we're still trying to figure it out, but it's been fun. It is hard, but it isn't at the same time because it's worth it. And having a job like this is fun, and it's hard, and it's worth it as well. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been good. Maybe you can answer this better. Maybe coffee's kicking in hard.
No, dude, I honestly think that there are moments that are difficult because no matter what your life looks like, you'll have difficult moments. But is it the same as our lifestyle that we were living before in terms of difficulty? No, absolutely not. You know, there are moments where I think sometimes it's tough because it's like, for example, we're very lucky because we live somewhere where my mom lives close by, and so she can watch our son once or twice a week for us for a few hours, whereas if we were completely on our own, I think that might be a lot
Yeah,
harder.
we are. Because we had help in the States as well.
We did,
help.
yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, we had help with his family,
Yeah.
and my sister. And so in the States we even had help, but it was like just the sheer amount of hours worked and like the stress of the job and like all of that was so different. I would say the most stressful part about this lifestyle is that you're raising a small human who has his own needs and he's not going to work on the same schedule as you guys. So trying to find balance with that and making sure that the reason we did this was to give our son the best possible life and to make sure that both of us were very involved parents for him. And so we don't like to spend too much time away from him. That's not the goal. Our goal is to spend the most time with him. But when we're out shooting content and things like that, it is very hard to have your toddler with you, and it's not really fair to him either because he's not getting the stimulation or the different, the activity that he may need during that time. So that's why we have my mom watch. But there's been times where she hasn't been available for her own reasons, and we have had to bring him every single time. And that would probably be the biggest stress.
But it's a hit or miss. Sometimes he's chill. He just wants we don't have a TV here, but sometimes we give him the phone to watch something. He'll just like it, and then.
But that's literally been within the last
but it's not like
weeks.
it's not good or bad. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah, I would say.
But it's been fun.
What was even the question? I don't know where we went with this. How is our lifestyle is amazing.
Yeah,
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm very happy. I feel grateful. Also, something that I started doing and Carlos does sometimes too is the 5-minute journal. I feel like it's all over social media, and you probably see a bunch of people do it. So you probably already know about
check it out.
But I like it. It just helps me stay in a good mindset. It's first thing in the morning and right before you go to sleep, and you just talk about 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make the day amazing, and then some kind of affirmation. So you're starting your day with a really good frame of mind. And then you end the day saying 3 amazing things that happened that day. So I love that because if let's say you had a bad day, you have to force yourself to really feel like, what were the amazing parts of my day? And then write that down.
Yeah.
And then one thing you could have done better, which I also think is great because it helps keep you accountable. So I like that because we're living a great lifestyle, but no matter what type of lifestyle you think is the best lifestyle, you're still going to have days that don't feel great.
Yeah.
You're still going to have moments that don't feel great. And so let's just keep it in perspective. That's what I try to do. Let me keep it in perspective and think about where we came from, where we are now, and where we're going. And that always makes me feel so much better.
That's true.
Okay, let me see. Next question. Should we answer some that are like not specific to us? Like just questions about relationships? Let me try to see.
Sure.
Should a man always approach first and why? Should I answer that?
Yeah.
As a woman?
I mean, it depends. I mean,
I don't think so.
At this climate, I think it depends. I think sometimes a girl would be more forward, and that's totally fine. But I think that a guy should always put more effort than the girl, I feel like.
I don't think so either, though. I would say for me,
I don't know.
it depends
It's just like
because
I feel like some kids are soft nowadays. Like I don't think they have the balls to go up to a girl, and if they do, I don't think sometimes like guys think they're good enough for what they want. So I don't know. It's a hard question.
Let me put it this way.
You answer it.
Let me put it this way. I feel like I'm a feminine energy and Carlos is a masculine energy. So our relationship is more traditional in that way. So I did feel like Carlos should do more pursuing in the beginning. Like, okay, this might also be weird, but like for me, that's what I felt worked for me. Like I've always felt like guys should pursue a little more. So in that sense, yeah. But not everybody is going to be like that. There are some men that might have more of a feminine energy and they are attracted to women with more of a masculine energy, and that woman might be the one that's more of the aggressor in that situation, right? So like I think it just depends on the person you are and the people that you attract or you're wanting to attract, right? Like if you're a masculine guy, like a masculine energy, and not because you feel like you have to be, because that's genuinely who you are, I think you may just be more naturally inclined to make the first move.
If you don't have enough perspicacity to make the first move.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
how's it going?
no, I think, yeah, I think.
She's asking us. It's not general. She's asking us. So I think yes, a guy should just be more forward. And if a girl does make the first move, then cool. You still have to hold the ball and run with it. So good luck.
Guess this is something that I always wonder though, because like, yeah, like if the girl does make a first move, it depends on who's the guy, right? Like
I've had girls make the first move, and I didn't have.
Did you feel like that was attractive?
Yeah.
Like in a way that you wanted to be in a relationship with that person, or did it make you think things that you shouldn't be thinking?
No, I was like, damn, this is cool. Whatever. And then I think, to me, it wasn't offensive. I knew who I know, like, I'm not going to be like, I don't know. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, it just helped me get to my destination faster. I don't know. I just feel like...
But that's what I'm saying. Like, did you take the person seriously or not? Like, genuinely.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you were genuinely considering that person to be girlfriend?
I wasn't considering, I mean, it wasn't like a thing like that, but I was like, I continued talking to the person. Oh, it wasn't like a thing. I don't know. I don't think it was good or bad. I think in general, like, it doesn't, like, as a guy, you still should be, like, being the person in charge of, like, handling the situation. I feel like, I don't know. I guess I'm more traditional in that sense. It's like, dude.
Oh, I think it is a girl. I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. Sorry, I can't see the photo very well. Sorry if I said that you're a guy and you're not. I would say if you're a woman and you want to approach a guy, do it. Just do it.
Yeah, I just like it work at different times.
If you're feeling that you want to, do it. If you feel like
and approaching a guy is like, it's not even hard. It's like, hey, and the guy's probably like, oh, okay. Cool, so that's why I feel like it's always going to be like, you're still going to need to take ownership of that move.
I think the reason I asked you about how you genuinely thought about it is because I think sometimes women feel that if they make the first move, the guy's going to get the wrong idea about her and not take her seriously. Well, like, they'll want to have sex with her and they'll do that, but then they won't want to be in a relationship with her. So I think sometimes, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to make any assumptions, but I think maybe that's why a girl's asking, should the girl make the first move or not? Because
no, I think it depends on the girl too. Like, if you're meeting, like, it's like, if you're meeting a drunk girl at the bar and she's making a first move, then maybe she does that a lot, and you're like, this is not something I want to be involved with. But if it's like, if you meet a girl and she's cool and you're on a date and then she kisses you, and you're like, oh.
How did you get on the date? Someone had to ask the person on the date.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know. What I'm saying is like, yeah. There's some situations where you're just like, you're just in a group of in a room full of people, and then you're attracted, somehow someone attracted to you, and you're just talking, and then you hang out, and there's no like, we're on a date. It's just like, oh, we're just next to each other, and then she happens to kiss you, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, like, whatever. It's not like a...
Think about this as a woman. Think about how you want to be in a relationship, and like, again, who you're going to attract, and you have to ask yourself, like, first of all, you might be, like I said, have a more masculine energy, and you're going to probably best fit with a man that has a little bit more of a feminine energy. And I hope people don't take it the wrong way or think I'm saying something weird. But if you kind of want to do that, do it. Just do it. Because, like, the guy who's not approaching you probably does like you. Maybe, and they're just, maybe they have more of a feminine way about them, or the guys are going to take this the wrong way. I don't know how else to say it. But they just may not have that... being as aggressive as maybe other guys, and they genuinely want you to talk to them. So
yeah,
just
there's guys who won't make the first move that I know that would be like, no, because she has to kind of give me a sign first, and it's like, yeah, it is what it is. I feel like just someone has to be the aggressor. So I don't know. Not the aggressor.
But I guess for me, the reason I never did, because I would rather be the more feminine energy in a relationship, and I feel like if I'm starting out being aggressive with a guy, then they may not ever have that, and I may just not be interested in them anymore, or they may not give me what I'm hoping for in a relationship. So that's probably why I wouldn't do it, but
it's up to you.
It's up to you, and it's up to what you want.
Anything goes.
Anything goes. What do you think about high standards?
What do I think about high standards? I think high standards are good. I mean, as long as you're working hard enough to meet them, it's all good. But don't complain if it's taking you a while to get there. But I think everyone should have a high standard. I mean, everyone should have a standard in general. I think that if you're just going to go through life just getting what comes to you, you don't work towards nothing, then you're never going to be happy or satisfied with yourself. So I feel like just if you want to have a standard, be ready to work and pursue.
Be ready to meet that standard.
Yeah,
and
also be ready to meet that standard.
Because you have to consider like what you're going to bring to the relationship as well. So if you're going to have standards for somebody that you can't meet yourself, I wouldn't have that standard.
Exactly. That's it. Period. That's good. That's it.
Okay. How do you have a long-lasting relationship when you pass the honeymoon phase? It's a good question. Communication, I think, and effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I think at the honeymoon, pre-honeymoon phase, you are doing everything for the person to kind of wow them. So just don't forget that type of energy. I don't know, keep the same energy.
Yeah, I think that when you're in a long relationship, I do think there are times that it can become transactional in a way, like moments where you're just going through your motions of everyday life and you forget to like stop and like admire the other person and tell them how much you admire them, or like make time and space for that type of energy, you know? So I think it's important to do that. And I think it's also important when you're in a long-lasting relationship to remember that you might be in a certain season of your relationship that won't always be that way.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I think, again, like we had to, I think, come to terms with having like a newborn, having an infant, having a toddler. All of those things are different. Like those different stages were different. It affected our relationship differently. It gave us more or less time with each other in different ways. It gave, you know, for me, like during the newborn stage, I was healing and it was really hard for me, very difficult for me. And I didn't show up in the same way that I normally would show up probably for Carlos, because I literally couldn't. I physically couldn't. And I think he was very understanding about that. So I think it's about being open to telling the other person when you need something, and being open to hear and receive the other person's feedback too, you know, because it's not always about you. So you're in a partnership, you know, so yeah. So just keep that communication going. And I think if you guys both want to be in the relationship, you will work on it, you know? Boy, you did not put an editing question in our relationship Q&A. Like, I'm gonna get you those presets real quick. How long have we been together? That's an easy one.
5 years.
Okay, I think we should do like one more, right?
Yeah.
This is a long video.
Yeah, tell them.
Can someone love two people at the same time?
Fuck yeah. No.
Yeah, he's in love with Lorena Ray, so yeah, he
I
can.
think so. I mean, I don't know.
To be in love with two people at the same time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know, dude. I've never been in love with two people at the same time because I've never been in that polygamous relationship. So I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how to answer this question because I never, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a, what kind of question is that? Why? What is this person's
Because I think
goal?
I think there's probably people that think they're in love with more than one person and they don't know how to choose or like whatever.
No,
and
you're just probably in love with, you're probably in love with
the idea
of someone, and then you're probably out of love or out of excitement and
you're looking for that in
fantasizing
someone
about
else.
the ideal like love or excitement that someone else can give you. But it's a lot of work. I mean, if you have enough bandwidth to do it, I guess so. But at the end of the day, can you be in love with more than one person? You probably can, but also you probably can't. I don't know. I've never dabbled in. I mean, cheating. I don't know. Like even cheating is like.
No.
It's not.
You don't treat someone you love in a
that's what I'm saying.
deceptive
It's just
type
like,
of way. If you're in an open relationship, that's agreed upon between two people, perhaps, yeah. But I would say that I just think that we can only talk from our experience because we're not every person in the planet. I don't know that I have the bandwidth to know somebody at the level that I would love them in the way that I love Carlos.
Yeah.
Because that level of like intimacy, that level of vulnerability, that level of everything requires so much time, so much effort, so much attention, so much cultivation that I don't know how people do that multiple times over and over and over.
But if I came into the game with two girls, and I mean maybe I'll think different. But so
I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm only speaking from my perspective.
And maybe shouts out to you.
Yeah, shouts out to you. Like if that's what works for you.
The grass is always greener.
Right.
It is. She's probably like, it's the grass is always greener.
But I think there might be a difference in some of those situations, though we're maybe not talking about being in love with them, but being like, this person fills my cup in a certain way and I like to spend time with them. But that's different, I think, than being in love with somebody. Like, especially if you have multiple sexual partners, but it's not about having a serious relationship with them. I don't know, like I would say from my own perspective, I don't think I could be, just because I don't think I have that type of bandwidth to get to know somebody on that level where I'm like now in love with you, because I just feel like I'm pretty focused on the one relationship that I have. But with that being said, I love like my family members, I love multiple people in that way, but it's a totally different relationship, right? So I don't even know if it's comparable. Like it's not the same as like an intimate partner relationship. So I don't know, that's just from my perspective, but...
Let's get one more in. Let's get one more.
One more?
Yeah.
I hope you guys are still sticking around.
That question was, who is that person? Let's invite them on here so they could explain themselves.
I think it's a girl. The photos are so small, it's hard to tell. Do you want to answer a question about us or like another general?
Just a fun one now. No, I'm just kidding. No, let's do
How do you know if a guy likes you?
Well, how's that a question about? How can I answer that question?
How can a girl tell if a guy likes them? Or a guy tells a guy, or whoever, a person. How can you tell if someone likes you?
Reciprocation, responsive, and
Are they showing genuine interest in who you are as a person? Are they respecting you? Are they giving you their time? I would say those are the three fucking big ones. Do we fight?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Another question. One more. Come on, give us a good ending one. These are so like...
Yes, we do. Moving on.
Something not too something that's a good ending, right, guys? Let's get a good ending one. What would be your ending question? Put it down below in the comment section. We'll respond.
How do we fix our issues? Is that not a good one? I don't fucking know what you love.
More.
We're gonna fight about this, guys. Just kidding. What's your love language? No, he's still on the floor, guys. Have you been hurt in past relationships and how? He's still on the floor, guys. What do you think about age gap? Both ways.
Yes.
And we're back.
Dude, a MILF is a fucking, that's good. A MILF. I like age gaps actually.
Well, it depends on what the age gap is. If the person is anywhere in their formative years, meaning they're below 25 years old.
No, I think age gaps don't ever be in a relationship. I think a serious relationship with someone that's extremely older, extremely younger than you shouldn't be a serious thing. But I think a fling with an older person is fun.
Yeah, they could teach you stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
it could teach you stuff. It teaches stuff. You learn about yourself, and I think that I don't know. It's just like a fun thing to do, but like
Yeah.
to do it like seriously, like and be like, oh, I'm in a relationship with like Dane Cook and his 18-year-old girlfriend or whatever at the time. That's way too young.
That's what I'm saying is I feel like if you're older than the formative years and you're with someone who's in those formative years,
Yeah.
I think that might be problematic,
Yeah.
especially coming from, like, for me in my personal experience, when you're young, you feel like you are mature. You feel like you might feel like you're
Yeah, very
ahead of
figured out,
your time. You might look around at your peers and be like, oh, like if you think you're the most mature whatever person, when you have somebody who's so much older, has so much more life experience than you coming in, there very well could be a power play there and a manipulation there, whether or not that older person understands, like, consciously that they're doing that or not. I think that comes into play in a way that is not healthy. But I don't want to speak for every relationship. I just think as a general rule, if you're in formative years, I don't think you should be in a serious relationship with someone who's much, much older than you, until your brain has fully developed. And then maybe, because I feel like those age gaps don't mean as much when you're a fully grown adult. But, like, for example, if you're 30 years old and you're with a 40-year-old,
30, 50. Yeah.
like 30, 40, maybe 30, 50 might be a little different too, but I don't know, like, who knows? But I think when you're 30 years old, like, go ahead, have your age gap then, but before that, I think give yourself the time to fully develop, before you're in these, like, serious life-altering relationships. I don't know. That's what I think.
But as a guy, as a guy perspective, like, for me, I'm a big fan of MILFs.
Yeah, for fun.
For fun, have fun, and just like enjoy the priceless scent of an old lady. I'm just kidding.
The priceless scent of an old lady. He really does like MILFs, guys. It's so funny. Thank God, because even though I'm younger than him, I can age and hopefully he'll still be, like, attracted to me. MILFs. I like an old lady.
It's all because of Stifler's mom.
I've always liked older guys too, so I'm not trying to say, like, all age gaps are wrong, but if it's a huge age gap and you're in your formative years, I'm like, maybe not. But yeah.
Sweet, guys. Cool. I hope you guys found that fun and you guys stuck around to the last question. Let us know if you guys have any questions for us here on YouTube, and we'll respond to those. Maybe we'll do a Q&A for YouTube, maybe not Instagram this time. Maybe YouTube. Mm-hmm. We'll find, like, a fun question that you guys have. It doesn't have to be relationship. It could be anything.
Anything.
But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. It's been a while. We hope you enjoy this podcast. And shouts out to the sponsor, reclass.shop.
Shouts out.
Don't forget to put style on everything.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.